Hey guys, welcome to Legion TD 1.8. This is a tutorials video on Beginner's Guide, created by yours truly, TNT, and this video was created in January 2025. This video will cover Race Picker, gameplay and mechanics, buildings, creeps and level, area, in-game commands, and then gameplay. So let's go! So this is Chapter 1, the Race Picker. We will cover in this chapter how to pick a race, the difficulty of races, and finally, the fine details of what beginners need to know of the races. Alright, so first we're going to start with the Race Picker. The Race Picker has multiple races that you can choose from. So we've got like Beast Builder, Mech Builder, Nature Builder, Shadow Builder. Really cool. Lots of different races. And one really fun thing that I think some people don't know is you can hit next page on the bottom right. That takes you to a bunch more of the builders that have been newly added. Really cool. So every race has a experience level listed. So we've like Beast, we've got Novice, Experienced, Veteran. This will tell you kind of where you should start. If you're a beginner, I recommend you start with a builder that has Novice listed. So like Beast, or Nature, or Hybrid, or Marine. These are some of the ones I've learned on, and they're a little bit more straightforward as far as the race goes. Not a lot of the like weird abilities and things that you have to kind of learn typically later on in the game. So these are the ones I recommend for you to start with. That being said, I mean, Marine, Beast, I mean, some of the best gameplays I've seen are on these races. So that's why they're also listed as Veteran, because you can play these races like insane. Even if you're a pro, awesome races. It does not mean that they are lower races, it just means it's a better one to start with. That's kind of what that means. And then, finally, we've got Random Builder. Random Builders is question mark. So, as it says there, Hybrid cannot be randomed or drafted. If you select Random, it's going to pick one of these races at random for you. That being said, Hybrid cannot be chosen, like I just said. So, don't pick this if you want Hybrid. But a big perk to this race picker, the Random Race Picker, is the 5 gold edition. So basically you would start with 100 gold up here, or I'm sorry, 105 gold rather than 100 gold. So you get the 5 extra gold for that guy. And then with all of the races, you can sell all of your units for 100% of the gold you spent if it's on the same round it's built. Okay, so if you build it, the round hasn't started, you can always sell it for 100%. That is not the case with Hybrid Builder. Hybrid Builder is always 50%. Always, always, always. Doesn't matter if the round started, you just built it, whatever. That's kind of one of the risks of taking Hybrid, is that the Hybrid race can only be sold for 50% no matter what. Alright, so the next chapter we're going to cover is Chapter 2, Gameplay and Mechanics. In this chapter, we will cover Game Start Resources, what are the summons and what do they do, and how to win the game. Okay, so in this chapter we cover the resources. So you start with 100 gold, 30 wood, and 1 out of 15 food. You have 130 seconds to start the round on level 1. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to buy towers with all of your 100 gold to defeat the creeps sent to you. So we're going to pick a race.
Upgrade complete.
And you're going to build units to defeat the creeps.
Job's done, job's done, job's done.
When the round starts, the creeps are going to spawn from this black or darkened square. Okay, they're going to spawn from there and follow the trail down the way here. Your buildings here, or units, are going to turn into fighters at that point, once the round initiates. So the fighters are going to run forward and attack the creeps that have been sent to you. Now, if the fighters win, that's your units, if they win, they're going to run back up to this dark square, and be transported down here to the arena. If the creeps that have been sent beat your units, the fighters, they will continue down the trail into this middle section, all the way down to the arena. Okay? The goal of this game, and the point to win, is you want to kill your enemy boss, or your enemy king. So each side has a king. I've got a king. They've got a king. Okay? And I shouldn't say I should say West. West has a king. East has a king. The goal, because I'm on the West team here, the goal is to kill the East side king by overwhelming him with enemy units to kill him. Chapter 3. This is buildings. In this chapter, we're going to cover towns, barracks and advanced barracks, and king. Those are your 3 most important buildings of the game. Alright, so for this chapter, we're going to cover the important buildings. First building is town, then barracks, advanced barracks, and finally your
What would
king.
you ask of me?
Now, in the town, we are able to build workers, we are able to upgrade our food, upgrade our lumberjack training, we are able to upgrade our king's hit points, our king's attack, and our king's regeneration. The maximum number of workers is 25 workers to 4 lumber upgrade. So I can build 25 workers to 4 lumber upgrade. The 4 lumber upgrade, every time you upgrade this, and up to 4 times, it will increase the lumber that your workers can carry by 2. If you upgrade the food, it will raise your food cap by 8. So that 15 would be raised by 8 to 23. And then lastly, you can add hit points to your king, you can add attack to your king, and you can add regeneration to your king for 80 wood, and it gives you a 3 income. Finally, there is the swift workers. Swift workers are the final worker you can get. That is a very late game unit, or late game worker to get, I should say. Basically, this worker can only be built when you have 25 workers and 4 lumber. You can track this on the top right corner. This is your scoreboard. So as you see, I'm TNT. I have 1 worker plus 0. That would be my lumber upgrade /0. The 0 on the right side of the slash is the swift workers that I have. So as I continue to upgrade and build those workers and lumber upgrade, etc., it will change these in the scoreboard throughout the game. The next building that I'm going to go over is the barracks and the advanced barracks. This is where you will use your lumber up in this top right corner to send units to the opposing team. Now, the first thing you should notice is militia, 20 wood to 1 income. That is basically the highest you can get on income, 20 wood to 1 income. As you notice on some of these units, like the warrior, he has 60 wood send, but only 2 income. The reason behind that is he has maul, 20% chance to stun a target. Very strong at the very beginning of the game. So you can judge if you would like to lose that 1 income to send a warrior. At the very beginning of the game, losing 1 income is a very big deal. So make sure you're making your choices correctly. Next, where do the spawns go when summoned? So, for example, I will summon some militia.
Ready to work.
They will go into this area here, and you will see everything that's being summoned from your team. So the whole west side team, everything being summoned is going to go right here. At the beginning of the round, all of these will disappear and be sent to your opponents, or in this case, the east team. So they will be sent to each of their spawn sections, which we will get to in a later chapter of the game. How these are divided up. They're divided up equally depending on what type of unit they are. So be careful not to send multiple. For example, if you send 6 fur blogs, someone's going to get 2, most likely. Okay, so ideally you would like to send 4 fur blogs, so each player on the opposing team gets 1 fur blog. That is a huge strategy of this game to make sure you're sending the appropriate amount of of spawns to your opponent. Lastly, your barracks will be upgraded throughout the game. Again, these are your barracks and advanced barracks. They will be upgraded throughout the game. You can get them upgraded by how much lumber you have gathered. To check your lumber gathering, you type /lumb. Currently, I've gathered 460 lumber because I've had this game on pause for just a minute. So it's just gathering. But you can check your lumber here. Once your lumber hits 8,000, your first barracks will hit the first upgrade, and from there, so on, so on. That is how your barracks are upgraded. What the barracks upgrade does is it doesn't change the amount spent on the units of wood, but it'll increase, say, the militia attack and armor and hit points. It'll increase these factors to make them a stronger unit, but everything else is still the same. You still get the same income and you still spend the same amount. So it's just really big. If you can get that early on in the game, awesome. Then lastly, we have the king.
Let me face the peril.
The king's is upgraded with hit points, attack, and regen. You can do this instead of sending. So, I will mention again, sending gives you the maximum amount of income that you can get, which is listed in the center column. So I'm at 2 income. If I'd rather, I can also upgrade my king for 80. Now, as I pointed out earlier, 20 wood gets you 1 income. So 80 wood should get you 4. But it gives you 3. So if you upgrade your king, you will be at a disadvantage on income. You will have a lower income than the amount of wood you're gathering. There are some advantages to play this way, absolutely. But for the generic learning purpose, you get less income for more, or for the amount of wood you would spend. So if I sent 4 of these, I'd get 4. If I got this, I'd get 3, and it'd be the same amount of wood. So be careful which one you're upgrading or sending. You want to protect your king at all costs. Your king is the key to victory. If you lose your king and he dies to the enemy team, you lose. So, king is huge. You want to make sure your king is being upgraded at appropriate times. Typically, you want to upgrade your king when it is necessary and your team is leaking. Your team is leaking the creeps and they're coming down here to the king, which we will cover in a different chapter. If your king kills creeps that are leaked to him, so like I told you a little bit earlier, they feed down into this arena and then from there they leak to the king. If your king kills them, then the opposing team will collect the gold that those creeps were supposed to give you. It will split them equally depending on how many opposing players there are on the other team. And lastly, your king ability, attack speed, and armor is adjusted on levels 5, 13, 21, and 29. So, we're on level 1, so I have no ability here, but it will populate different abilities depending on which levels they are. That's the only thing the game auto-populates. So, you have to upgrade hit points, attack, and regeneration throughout the game as players on the west side, or players on the east side, depending on whichever side you're on. That's the only way to really upgrade your king besides, again, ability, attack speed, and armor change. Next, we are on Chapter 4, Creep and Level. In this chapter, we're going to cover how many levels there are and the difference between creep waves. Alright, so in this chapter we're going to cover a few things on creeps and level. First, there are 36 levels in this game. After 36, there is an infinite bonus round, during which all units will pool at the arena area. That would be y'all. And then it will continue to spawn units from all of the existing players to the arena until all of the players at the arena have died and kill the king. Whichever team wins. Whichever team's king falls first, the opposing team wins. That is the very end of the game. So in Legion 1.8, there is no arena. We do not have an arena. For us, the arena is level 31. Basically, what's going to happen is all of my fighters that I've built in this area are going to teleport to one of the other players on the opposing team. So in this example, red, I'm red, would go to, let's say, green. And then red would receive all of pinks, or, you know, something like that. It is completely random who you receive, but you will receive one player's units or fighters to fight you on level 31. That being said, every creep has a different unit or a different attack type and armor type. This defines their vulnerability and strengths. So, to kind of give you an example, I'm going to jump into the Beast Builder here and kind of build a few units for you.
More gold is required.
Done.
Now,
done.
no
Job's
warrior
done.
is a normal builder or normal damage with a light armor, where Ogre Basher is a siege damage with a heavy armor.
I stand
Now,
ready.
each of these has a benefit. So, for example, normal attack does the most damage on medium armor. Pierce attack does the most on light armor. Siege does the most on fortified armor. Magic damage does the most on heavy armor. Chaos and unarmored are both just 100%. So, it has a percentage. Typically, the percentages are listed here. So as you see, 90% from Pierce. So heavy armor gets 90% damage from Pierce damage. Where Siege, I know for a fact, is going to do more damage to Fortified than it would to Light. Because Light is 90%. Fortified would be 120%.
Your command.
So, choose your units wisely,
my
depending on
ancestors.
which level is about to be sent. That is a very big reason of what to choose for what's coming, as far as creeps are concerned. The next chapter is Chapter 5, Area. In this chapter, we will cover lane building, mid building, spawns for areas of creeps and spawns, pathing for all units in game, and the no bounty areas. Alright, so in this chapter we're going to cover area, beginning with lane building. So we're going to choose a race,
Upgrade complete.
and this is going to be lane building. This is considered lane, right here. This is the most common place to build for most people. In this area, you're going to receive a -2 armor to the creep sent to you, and the spawns sent to you. Build, build,
Yes,
build.
chieftain.
So,
Job's done.
units
Job's
are going to
done.
come down this
Job's
way,
done.
attack my fighters. Now, if the fighters win, again, they're going to run up to this dark square and transport to the arena to defend. If my fighters lose, then the creeps are going to continue on their way into the mid. Mid building is the second one we're going to go over today. So mid builders,
Of me.
this is a little bit less common, but people still play it. Mid building
For my ancestors.
is meant to catch
Job done.
all of the lane leak.
Job
So,
done.
like I said earlier,
Job
if the
done.
fighters
Job done.
lose
Job
on
done.
the lane and the creeps continue down, the mid builder will catch it. Typically, blue would be the mid builder here, and red would be the lane builder. Now, mid building gets a +1 armor. So, it is, in theory, more difficult to kill the creeps coming down the way in mid than it is in lane. Okay? And then lastly in this area is also dual building. Dual building is marked by, as you can kind of see, this little outline here. This marks the dual build and the mid builder. Dual build means both players, red and blue, are going to build in the center together. Now, one warning I have if you choose to do dual building. Make sure that the other player is okay with it. Do not just go for it. You both have to be okay with it because it's going to take a lot of communication to make the game work. And then again, your spawns and creeps are going to get a +1 armor as well, just like mid. So if you're mid or dual, it's all here. They're going to get that extra armor, okay? Lastly, there is no bounty given to any spawns that reach this center point. Anything dark here. So, when they make it down to the arena, and say your teammates kill them, the spawns, they will get no gold for this. That does not... Alright, that is not the same thing with boss and summons. Boss and summons are a little bit different with how the gold is provided. But with just spawns, you don't get any gold here. And then a reminder from a previous chapter, if the spawns reach the king,
not afraid.
then all of the gold that the king collects from those kills are going to be distributed among all of your opponents. So don't let that happen. That's really bad. That's going to put you super behind. Finally, we come to Chapter 6, In-Game Commands. So in this chapter, we will cover autosend and other commands, and where to find those commands in-game if you forget anything I tell you on this video. Alright, so in this chapter, we're going to cover in-game commands. I'm going to start with the TXT to begin with, so you have a reference of where to look at. This kind of goes over all of the commands that this game has. When you're playing regularly, don't look at dual mode. That is a different option that we will go over in a different video. So, to begin with, we have autosend. Autosend on is toggled on your worker, or your builder. Not worker, sorry, builder. So, autosend on. Click on that. It'll show in your status autosend is activated. To turn it off, I click it again, it'll show autosend is deactivated. If you're confused on which one you're on, just always look at your builder's status. That'll help you kind of determine which one you're on, because I know it can get a little confusing at times. Next, we have level. So if you go level, we'll go with level 5. So level 5, type that. It'll show you the level you're on, the value recommended for the level, the income recommended for the level that you should be at, depending on which you're shooting for. Now again, these are just guidelines. This is not absolute, you know, so don't... If you're in the novice section and you're feeling bad, I mean, there's a lot of factors to this game. Don't feel bad. Just that gives you a guide of how you should be at. Okay. Next, we have info. We'll go info 5. This will give you the information of what unit's being sent, the attack type, the armor type, how many creeps are being sent, how much bounty each creep is worth, the round gold, so basically from level 5 to 6 that you'll get, and then the total gold. So you can kind of determine how much gold am I going to have when I start level 7, or I guess that was level 5. So level 6, how much gold am I going to have when I start level 6? Another one you can check is value. You don't need a level for that. That'll just tell you your current value. You can type that at any time to kind of see what value you're at. But the one I love the most, and I recommend to everyone, is help on. I'll type it a couple times. Well, I'll wait. No. Help on. This turns on auto send. This turns on show value, and this turns on show next. So basically, it will show you your value throughout the game every time you build a unit. So let's try it, shall we?
Done.
And it'll also show you the info and the level, the two we just went through. So it'll tell you all the recommended information. It'll tell you the recommended info for the level, every level. So it'll auto-populate that for you. And, like I said, it'll show you
An excellent plan.
your value every time you build a unit. That's really
For
cool.
my ancestors.
So let's see. Let's see if it works.
Job's done.
30.
Job's done.
30. Yep, it works. So we're at 30 value right now. Really cool features. I recommend Help On to everybody. And again, that was Help On. Alright, the last chapter of this game is going to be gameplay. I'm going to run through a little bit of gameplay with you guys, just to kind of show you exactly everything that we've talked about, and hopefully it all makes sense, okay? Let's jump right into it. Alright, so we're at the beginning of a game. It's just begun. 100 gold, 30 wood. So now we're going to pick our race. I'm just going to go with Beast for training purposes.
Upgrade complete.
So we're going to get our Beast
Done.
Builder. And I'm going to type help on. I love help on. Always, always, always. Love help on. Okay, so
Yes, chieftain.
I'm going to start building some stuff.
Done. Yes, chieftain.
Job's done. Job's done. Job's done.
And now we wait. That's typically how it goes with this game, is you just kind of wait on that first little bit. But it gives everyone a chance to kind of figure out what they're doing, get back to their laptop if they're using the restroom, that kind of thing. Or I guess their computer, too. Not just laptop. But... Alright, so we're at 1 second left.
Job's done.
The chime dings. It tells you what level is coming out to you. Here they come. So here's our creeps. As you notice on here, it is a -1 armor.
Our allies' town is under siege.
Okay, cool. So, my fighters defeated my creeps, so they're going to run to this section, the square, and teleport back to the arena.
Is under siege.
Now, all of my teammates leaked. So, they are now going to fight the fighters. I'm sorry, the creeps. The fighters, here, my fighters, are going to fight the creeps that are leaked. Now, the reason we want them to win, again, is because I don't want my king to kill them. If my king kills them, it's going to give gold to the enemy team. Granted, the enemy team is also facing this same factor. So we'll just kind of wait here, see how it plays out. And typically, if you have regular players, they're not going to leak level 1 like that, but I'm just giving you an example. Okay, here we go. So, all the creeps are dead. Level 2 starts. Now we're going to see I got 36 gold for my king's kills, 13 for completing the level, 3 for my income, and then it's going to give me all that information. This is because I typed help on, that it's going to give me this information right here. Like I said, very useful. So now we're going to see I'm at 90 value, and I don't remember what the recommended value was. So, let's go. Level 2. Why is it not working? There we go. Level 2, 90 to 130. So that's a good guide. I think I need a little more.
Job's done.
An excellent plan.
I'm at 100, so I'm like smack dab in the middle. So I might hold, I might not. So let's find out. So they're killing them. You get gold for every kill. Now these are the spawns that the opposing team sent. So orange sent an archer to me. I just killed it. I got the gold for it. Cool. And they sent a militia. Someone did. I don't know. But I got 1 gold for that too. So you always get gold for the sends, or the spawns they send. Boom. That's a lot of creeps.
What would you ask of me?
But that's even more. Holy kashmoly. So there's a chance that we're gonna die here. I guess, at this point, I would want to upgrade my attack and hit points, possibly. But I'm only at 40 wood, so I wouldn't be able to. But once I hit 80, I can. Get some regen or something. Let's click on him. Oh, he's getting whooped. This is the enemy king. I'm about to win. Right side, or the right king has less than 10% life remaining. Boom! And I win! Because their king was defeated before mine. That's the basics of the game. And at the very end, it's going to present to you most lumber harvested, highest income, most kills. What else? Most units summoned, most fighters value, that kind of thing. Okay? Also, it has my name here. If you would like to join our page on Warcraft, feel free to find me. That's my name. Reach out to me on Blizzard. And then lastly, it takes you to the match results. So we can see I whooped, obviously, because there was no really competition there. But boom, I whooped him. Okay? And that's the end of the game. So thank you so much for watching my video. Hopefully this was informative and helpful. We'd love to see you join Legion 1.8 as players. We want players all the time. I want big community on here. You are welcome to either reach out to me, like I said, from that TNT earlier, or you can also just scan our QR code that I've got on this video the whole time. That'll take you to our Discord. So by all means, please reach out. We want you to be involved. We want you to be a part of this and feel like you're a part of the community, because you are once you join. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.